Hi there, welcome back to my craft room. It's Kathy from Raven Vintage. We're working on this Hinge journal. I was inspired by Cindy A. Lewis, and I've never done a Hinge journal like this before. The only Hinge journals I've ever done are these little minis, and they are done with ribbon hinges. So that's the extent of my Hinge journal experience, really, with just ribbon hinges. That's all I've ever done for ribbon Hinge journals. So I know there are different types of Hinge journals, so I was quite intrigued by the way Cindy did this one. Okay, today we are going to do two things, and I thought I could do this in 3 videos, but it looks like maybe we're going to do 4. I started a few trial things I've done. I want to use faux vintage tape in this journal, which we're going to make in a moment. And I want to do a lot of this kind of layering in this journal. So I want to use my printables in all different ways that I can, so they look like separate pieces. And I want to build up. I can't do layers on every single page, or this guy will just get too big. It'll gator immediately. So I think there's going to be a nice little balance of leaving pages. I want to make sure that the writing pages are left, so that because this journal lays so nice and flat, it's a really good journal for writing. So I want to make sure all the writing spaces are available as a writing journal. Also, we'll make some little notebooks like this. So this was me practicing using, and then again, this is just using the printables as a header for this little notebook and some faux vintage tape. So those are the kinds of things I want to put in this journal. Okay, so let's start with the tape. If you haven't made this before, it's pretty easy. So you need some sort of waxy paper that you can put your tape on and then remove after. So this is just from some labels. You could use like a wax paper and use the shiny side. Just something that you can apply the tape to and then remove it after. I'm going to try 2 different kinds of tape here and show you how I make my faux tape. So I have some in here already. So basically, this is the shiny waxy side, and then I just have some regular, this is Rexall brand, that's just a drugstore in Canada, and here's a Scotch brand. This is the one that we all refer to as Scotch tape, but it's just the brand. It's like Kleenex tissue, but we call grab me a Kleenex because we use that. You can tell what name brand is popular, right? Even if we bought the no-name brand because it's cheaper, we still call it Kleenex. Okay, so these are going to look very much the same. I can pretty much guarantee that. So this is a satin finish, but I want you to see that it's really not going to make a hill of beans difference. Oops. And I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to get these well, they're really not the same size. So I'm going to try to keep them the same size as if possible, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison. Have you done this before? Pretty simple. It is basically a bit of an investment though for those alcohol inks. They're not cheap. Oops. They are not cheap. So I do have an alternative for you here to show you. Okay, and we'll do a row of this too. So this is heat tape. So this is, I think, used by plumbers, I think. But this tape here, I have it listed in my Amazon store. So I also have these inks in my alcohol inks in my Amazon store if you want to check them out. So let's see how that has like a really cool yellow color. So this, in some applications, looks really cool as old vintage tape. And you don't have to dye it or anything. It's ready to go. So that is a nice, what size? 3/8, sorry, 3/8. Okay, so that is the heat tape, it's called. So that is a cheaper alternative than buying the inks, I think. So this is just basically no name brand, let's call it. Tape. Okay. So the pack I ordered comes with 3 colors: ginger, latte, caramel. I use the caramel the most. I'll show you the difference in the colors. But basically, and I just have cotton balls here, but just a couple drops. This stuff will last you forever. So this is the caramel, and I just have a cotton ball, and I'm not going to wipe, I'm just going to dab. Wiping just gives you streaky lines, and it's just doesn't look as good, as natural, I should say. So just pouncing on this with the cotton ball seems to do the trick and give you a nice look. Now you can layer your colors too. Okay, so that is the caramel. And let's try now the latte. Do 3 of those. So again, just now you can see where I put my tape. Shows up there. Okay, so that's the latte, a little bit different color. And then the ginger, I like to add drops of ginger on top of those colors there. So I'll show you that in a second as well, to give it a little bit of dimension by using different colors. So this is the ginger. A little bit goes a long way. Now I feel like they all look really natural, like old tape. I don't know. I used to think that maybe I like this one the most, but the caramel, but I don't know. I think they all look good. So I'm just going to compare it with this no name brand tape so you can see how there's just really no difference. Adding a second color gives you some dimension. So just add a couple of dots here. You can leave it pooled like that, or you can dab it in a little bit, mix it up. So it just gives you a little bit of dimension to that tape. I think it looks pretty natural. Okay, so that is how I make my faux vintage tape. Easy peasy, you peel it off. Try a couple layers here. Caramel, we'll try caramel on top of the ginger. We'll try caramel on top of the latte. Just a little bit more depth in layering those colors. Okay. Now when you use your tape, of course, you can cut these in whatever size you want. You can make them narrow, long strips. You can cut right up the middle. You can pull them off and cut them, or you can cut the paper itself. I do both. I really wanted to have a lot of tape available for this project. And like I said, you can also use this heat tape as well. Show you what that looks like. I have a couple pieces here I put ink on in the past, and which also looks really cool. If this is just a little too bright yellow for you, but it definitely has that translucent look to it. But yeah, it looks like old tape too. So that's pretty cool. I like that stuff. So that's handy to have in your tape bin. Okay, so those, we have tape. Now the next thing I wanted is taking your printables and just tearing or trimming, especially the ones that have text on them. So this was a full sheet, you can see, like an advertising. So I just went through and cut strips of words. So you can use this like washi tape or sentiments or whatever, but I think they look really nice when you add them to the tops of a journaling card like this, or a little notepad. So what I've done, I have a little bit of faux vintage tape there. I've got a piece across the back. It just makes it look more authentic. And then I've done the bending your edges and tearing the edges and just trying to make that look a little bit more authentic. Like this. Okay. So that, go through your printables and try to look at them in a different way. How else can I use that page other than just a full page? So I have gone through, for instance, this is off of an invoice, one that has a great big invoice, and just ripped it. I used a lot of, I used my ruler a lot to do a lot of tearing. And what I did was I took my test prints and I just ripped into shapes, like mostly little rectangles. And the idea is that I want to do some layering. So I just kind of sorted them a bit. What looks good. They're not probably going to end up that size, but just what looks good together. Get some layering like this. So here, for example, the blue ink there. Against that, I've got some good layers going there. Here, same thing, the blue and that wallpaper stripe goes good with the dark blue there. Okay, so the ones with the text are a really great way to break up some solid colors, or like here. So I've got this crazy pattern, it's dark, and then I have some nice light neutral text, and then I have another crazy pattern here, but it's broken up with that. So go through that. I want to do layering in this journal, so this is what I had in mind. So I encourage you to go through your printables. We'll do a few together, but here's an example. Okay, so I've used my faux vintage tape. I've got a piece at the back. I added a strip, another strip. I've layered those, and then I added some of the words here. I've done some of the ripping and bending and, you know, making your corners look a little ratty-tatty. And then here I've done some faux, I've used some more words from the printables, and so it looks like a washi tape. Which, if you want to, you can use double-sided tape. I have this one, and I have this brand. If you want to actually make washi tape out of your strips, you can. Although you can also just glue them down like that. But if you want to pre-make a bunch of washi like that, that would be really neat. And then I've got one collage I started here. I have not finished. Where is it? Here. Okay. So here I took some of that kind of like onion skin paper from the book that we removed the book block, and put it behind there, added a piece, added a few little bumps and tears, and then I kind of ripped around the butterfly there. So this isn't done yet. It needs something. This is what I want to do, is start building up some layers, and allow, some of them will be flip outs or flip ups, so you can access the spot there to write, and some of them will just be glued down. It's fine. There's one of those whipsies I was just demonstrating in this book. So you can see they are going to be a little bit thick for this, so I don't want to add too many. unless I make them without the ruffle on the top. They do lay pretty flat without the crown. So this here is just a strip like this, basically. And then it is, I stapled the 3 pieces of paper together with my little tiny attacher, and then I wrapped this around like that and inked it and up a little bit, and then added a little piece of tape there. So this is one of these ripped pieces on the top. This is the kind of layering I want to have for this journal. I don't know where this will end up, if it'll be like, that looks kind of good there, some sort of a belly band or something, or a pocket that can sit in. But I really want to do some stackable layers in here. So they do need a good amount of contrast. So here's another piece, for example, for contrast. And then on top of that, I want to use, I have a bunch of rusted bits here that I've done. I've rusted paper clips and brads and that sort of thing. Staples as well. It's tricky to do, but it's doable. So I thought I would want to do that in this this journal. Okay, let me see how many pages in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want to cover up my birds. This black ink in here might look nice by these birds with just enough of the pink, and the little bit of blue here might go nice with this page. Let's see what we can do with that. Find us a spot that makes sense to tear, so I'll hang on to that. Let's see what that looks like. Round corners or whatever you like. I think I'll make this the same. Okay, so some good pieces to use later on. So that's going to need something behind it. And then haven't inked anything yet, but okay. So this is what I'm going for here. So we've got this kind of layering look. I encourage you to try this because it is a lot of fun. It's like putting together a puzzle though. You take your little bits of paper and see where it's going to look the best. And then we want to do some flip outs, that sort of thing. So we're going to use that tape. So right there, I like this blue against there. I do want to preserve this for writing space. So thank you for your comments on the last video. Janelle was saying Janelle Masters said she hasn't seen this done before. I've seen a few done before, Janelle. This is my first time doing this style. And like I said, there's many different styles of hinge techniques to explore. Like there's lots to do. Let's see here. I do 2. That. So I'm making sure my margins are relatively the same. Piece there. We'll just do some odd pieces down here. There. I like that look. And then that folds out. So we're probably going to want something along here too, just to help with that hinge. Or that flip out, sorry. There. That's going to keep that good and secure. This is where it's just going to get to be so much fun. So these could be like stapled on there with some sort of a, I just really like this layered look. this ripped a little more. So Janelle, thanks for watching. And I hope you're encouraged to try one of these days. Janelle said she has a small craft room. Well, you've come to the right place, girl, because I have a really small craft room. It's like 9 by 10, which doesn't maybe sound too terribly small. I know it could be worse, but it's the layout of the windows and the door. I have like next to no wall space, and well, I shouldn't say next to no wall space. There could be more. So I made sure I made use of the center of the room by putting my desk in the middle of the room, like an L shape from the wall. And that has given me a lot more room on both sides. And I highly recommend cube shelves. I watch pretty much all of my furniture is second. My desk is secondhand. My cube shelves, except for the 3 to my left, are secondhand. I have an antique shelf that all my vintage books are on. That's that was obviously secondhand. And yeah, I highly recommend cube shelves if you can do it. There, I just kind of like that, but it's going to need some sort of a blah there. So I mean, I'm going to just staple it for now, and then I may add something to it afterward, like that. So we've got a flip out with some interaction here. This is just really what I'm going for in this journal. So some of these might require me to come back and put a belly band over them or a clip of some sort. That's really my goal here. Like that. So this is what I'm going for. But go through your printables, make yourself a whole bunch of smaller shapes that we can use for layering. And then we're going to go through and build layers. Some will be permanently in the journal. Some will be loose like this. And then each one of these can be pulled out and written on. Like, it's not a journaling card, but it's paper. And what do we write on? We write on paper. And I think that just gives us the opportunity to make this look authentic. So Carrie's the one that's going to, Carrie is Mummy of 5 for him. Carrie is the one that's going to be teaching a workshop in the fall. And we are sending Carrie loads of encouragement. So she had some neat ideas. She's making her prototypes for her workshop. And she had some neat ideas to do her hinges with a tear ruler, just for some, you know, visual interest. Also, she suggested using punches, like decorative punches for edges, and then folding the hinges afterward. I think that's brilliant. I think that's such a great idea. Thank you for sharing that tip with us, Carrie. That's fun. Yeah, she makes a good point. She says, I love that even though we can use the same ideas, we're all still very unique in the way we do them. So that's one of the most beautiful things I think about junk journaling. Do I want this in front? I just don't know now. There, I just think that's a nice little bundle. That is my goal with this journal here. And then we'll come when we, in the last video, which I thought there was just going to be 3, but clearly there's going to be 4. We'll come back in with lace and stuff and do final embellishments. But I think right now I just want to every 6 pages or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did that one, which I need to come back to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. We did that one. Let's see, that's going to fold, so we'll have to come up with something like that, or we'll have to tear them a little more narrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this right here would be a good spot to do something. So we're spreading it out throughout the journal. Some more blue, pink. I like this idea too, doing some sort of a spray. So let's just do this. So Bridget's daughter, Sweet Susie. I'm not sure what your name is, but you were asking about, can we do this type of hinge binding with a soft cover for a junk journal? So I told you I'd look into that, and I did. And Cindy's journal, for example, her journal that she made that inspired me to do this, yes, I did. I sent you the link for that to watch. So you'll see where she took her book block when she was done, and she just did a single piece for the top for the cover and a piece for the bottom for the cover. And she used the hinge, this hinge, and attached that single piece there. So that meant that her spine was wide open and you could see all the edges of her hinges. And I think that's a really cool look. I'll have to go and follow up on her next video to see if she talked about maybe covering it in lace. But a soft journal cover, absolutely you could. I think once you were done your, let's say this book block right here was our, let's say this is the book block from here. But let's say this is our hinge block that we're done with. For sure you could do some sort of a soft cover, because then you could just wrap this right around like that, and then make your creases, and then you could hinge here to here and keep it intact and hinge the back. What you just want to make sure that you have this floating, I don't think you want to glue, if it's a solid one piece all the way around, I don't think you want to glue that to your hinges. I think you're going to want to leave that loose, just so that when you open and close the book, see what happens? See how it does that? It comes away from the paper like that. See how it comes away? If that was glued on, it's going to be a problem, right? So I think if you just don't glue the spine, if you do your pages separate or your cover separate, top and bottom, then you've got all the freedom in the world to do whatever you want, and then you could glue some lace or something over top of that and it'd be fine. I think that would be the only thing to consider. So I would, like I said, I've never done this before, so this is my first attempt, so I wouldn't know if that's going to work or not. But I would say it looks like it will. I would be pretty confident in that. Adds in here. Yep, right there. We'll do that. I might have to tear across the top there. I just want this a little closer to the top. We're going to come right through. Okay, so let's get our pokey tool out. I'll poke right through here. I'm going to take one of these old brads. There we go. It's kind of neat looking. There we go. Okay, so that's neat. But like I said, I might need to just tear a little bit there. So Annette, thank you very much. Annette DePete, DePete, or DePete? DePete. Kind of a pretty name, isn't it? That is a pretty name. Annette, thank you for your kind comment. I'm glad you found my instructions helpful. I appreciate that feedback. I think I just really want the papers themselves to shine in this journal. Okay, so for example, this top bit here, we can just do some, you can do that you bend your corners like this, like fold back and fold forward. And then because this is white, I think I would ink underneath there. Yeah, like that. That's cute. And then maybe something right here. We could do some sort of, let's just try to lift it a little bit with our, a little crease like that. Looks natural. And I feel like this corner up here should maybe go under. Like that. And then maybe this needs a few little rips. There. Maybe over here. Just till it feels right. Like that. Okay, so it might get an embellishment or something later on, but for right now, I like the look of that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And then maybe room for one more kind of layering thing, just so we don't get too bulky. And then we'll go through and do some belly bands and pockets and the usual stuff. But right now I just wanted to kind of do this layering thing. Oh, we forgot our tape. Yeah, we need to add some fun tape. Let's maybe cut a little piece off here. Now, if you want that, you see how that has the frayed edge at the end from the tape dispenser? You can always just use your riggedy edge from your tape dispenser like this, just so you get that same kind of ripped edge, so you don't have a straight cut. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so what would you do maybe? This is always something kind of neat, is just to wrap the tape around the side like that. Just a little something. Just a little something. I like it. Okay, sorry. Where were we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one's just going to get glued right down on the page. Okay, so when we're looking at doing these rough edges, don't put your glue right to the edge. Leave room to flip it up and tear and bend and do all the things. So just leave yourself a little perimeter around. I'm just not going to overthink. I'm just going to start laying this down. Open that back up. I thought I would do a flip with that, but I'm going to do the flip at the top, I think. And just leave room for tearing or flipping or whatever you call it. That. Good. And then here we'll do this guy as a, we'll do that one as a flip. So we'll give him a bend. Like this. So don't forget too, you can crumple your pages to get some edges for inking. Straighten them back out so it's got that fun crease in there. And then let's use some of our tape for the top of it. I want to come way over here, or do I want to just center that? I don't like the way that looks, but we could add something there later. No, I think I will come over top because we could do something in the corner. So let's see. And don't forget, each of these pages, we're going to come back with the lace and other embellishments to add to them. So if they look unfinished, don't worry, we'll come back and do that. On your side there, like that. Okay, so we can do that business. That. Do something like that down here. Dog ear, what do you call that? Dog ear in your corners. And here I'm just going to kind of roll up this edge. Remember, that's why I said don't glue it right to the edge. I'm just going to roll it up and ink it so it looks lifted. And then this needs some sort of a tear. There, like that. Okay, and then we can come back in with something later on, but now you've got to flip. An absolute roll. I like that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Beautiful colors to play off of here. So let's use another one of these wild ones here. I feel like I just want to like tape something right down the middle. Yeah, let's just start with that. So I hope you look at your printables in a different way. Like, how many ways can you use that printable? Can you, like these collage ones, you can cut that and make a beautiful tag. It's a beautiful base for a tag already because it has this collaging already. You can add dimension by folding on those collage lines right there, adding some ink there so you get some dimension there. You can cut out pieces. You can trim the words out and use those. I just encourage you to look at your printables in a much, like here, you could use your circle punch and make a medallion with that 40. Okay, so I just want to center this on the page. I think glue this down. Let's start with that. Page will add some tabs, cluster tabs, that sort of thing. Okay, and then he's gonna go here. I just want to rough him up a little bit. I gotta be careful what I say on here because I could get my, be careful with my words so that my video doesn't get taken down. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down, but then I want to add tape to it so it looks like it's being held there with tape. This really long piece right here. Like that. I love that. That looks so good. Looks so good. And then that's the end. All right. So Teresa, thank you for watching. She said I could listen to you and teach teach or demonstrate all day long. Well, I don't know about that, Teresa. It might drive you crazy, but it sure would be fun to hang out all day, wouldn't it? Okay. Teresa's on my design team. She just finished a beautiful journal using the Lavender Lane kit. You should check her channel out. She is on Instagram. She does beautiful, beautiful work. That girl's craft room would be a dream to tour. She has some really beautiful things. Her and her husband do estate sales, and she just finds the most interesting, beautiful things. Really, she does. Okay, so let's just add a little bit of something to this guy. There's a little piece right here. As if I glued or taped it to the side of the page. That cute. Speaking of the lavender lane kit, Dorothea, hi Dorothea. Dorothea had a really great tip, a great reminder to, let's make some more of these, to use ivory paper. I like to use newsprint as well, but to use ivory paper to tone down any colors, like her and I are the same way when it comes to lavender or purple. It's not a color that we would normally go to, but I was inspired by our lavender fields, our farms around close to where I live, to do the lavender lane journal kit. And she loved it too, but she said, you know, purple's not my normal color. And she just got a printer. So she was able to tone that down by using ivory paper. And I find the same thing using my newsprint. I love printing on newsprint. It has such a beautiful texture. And that gray look, it just really subdues those colors. So I have the newsprint in my, if you want to check it out, it comes in a ream. I'm 8.5 by 11, so it fits my printer. So you can print directly onto the newsprint. It's fabulous. Okay, so you just want to naturally do that. So I think we'll just bend that one under. Bend you under like that. We'll try that. Okay, let's make some of these little these guys here. Some of these. And some of these. Just whatever we have. Like a wider one. Some of these more plain ones that we can use as writing paper in here. Oh, this might be fun. Let's do it like this. See what that makes. Okay. So just a little staple like that. And then you can cut with your scissors or whatever you like. Okay, let's see. Kind of like this look here. I think if I centered that, or I could wrap it right around. So Alexander, can you see what I'm doing? Sorry. Making such a mess today. Let's see if that fits on there. Yes, it does. And then that. Okay. And I can either tear that off or I can glue it down. So let's see if I can tear it. Pretty good. Okay. That looks good. That's good. Okay, so now I just want to kind of lift up this, rough this up a bit, make it look old. Roll it maybe. So let's ink it like that first. Rolled. Create some natural tears there, like that. So it's just a few pages, so it's not super thick or anything, but then we've got some dimension in here with different sizes. Let's maybe ink those. Little booklets are so cute with this. So keep that in mind with your printables. That's a really good use of them like that. We can always put something on the front of this, but for right now, this would be something I would probably add. Where is that? Like here. I would put it. Oh, you know what? Let's just do that right now. I really like that. Let's just do a belly band across there. Yeah, so once again, thanks Dorothea for your tip there about being mindful that we can use other papers to print on to get a different effect from our printables. So printables are so versatile. There we go. One of my biggest joys is to convert someone who doesn't do printables and get them to try printables and see what a good investment it is. And maybe a little higher. That's great. Okay, and then we can come back later if we want to and add something across here. But let's just leave that for now. I like how that looks in there. So yeah, these are great. Now we don't need to do an actual booklet. We can just do this to a card, like a journaling card. And I really want to use this in here somewhere too. I really do. Yeah, that's really, really lovely. Probably frame that out or something. I'm not sure just yet, but these papers are really nice. Also, Dorothea, thank you for supporting Carrie. We want to help Carrie get her confidence up for that workshop she's doing. If anybody else is looking for some encouragement, just please reach out. That's what we're here for, to support each other. Cindy, Island Girl, love this book cover and the papers. Can't see what you do. See what you do next. And she was asking about the age of the book. It's 1909. So from the publisher's note there, I saw it was 1909, and then also the in right here, Toronto, William Briggs. So this is gorgeous. I really like that. I'll be cutting that out, and I'll be cutting this out, and we'll be using that in the journal. And this here. I'll just start doing that right now. Yeah, I love the Victorian era too, Cindy. It's just I feel like I was born in the wrong time sometimes. Well, Cheryl from the Journal Cottage, thank you so much for your kind words about this journal. Now, don't ever apologize for leaving a novel. That's fine. I love reading your comments. So yeah, you can write all day long if you want. Don't ever apologize for that. I see what you're saying. You mentioned a couple other creators, and I am going to go check out one there I had never heard of. Who was it? Journaling Angela. I don't think I've heard of her, so I'm going to check her out. Thank you. I love to learn new creators. Oh, you're going to make a nice little card right there. Let's just start with that. Lovely. Lovely. This one here we'll cut out. And then this paper feels so nice, so I'll use that somewhere. But thank you for your kind words about my instructions. I appreciate that. And I see what you're saying. Not all videos are give the full picture and you wish like you're wanting more. I understand that. So if I have done that for you, explain things well enough, that makes me so happy because I know exactly what you're talking about there. I appreciate that. That's so cute. Okay, so which one did I mention we'll come back to and add something to it? Oh, is that the one I just added the little notebook to? Well, let's see. Ooh, I like that there. I think that one's good. Oh, that's even some nice layering there too, isn't it? Breaking that up a bit. Here, this is kind of what I was thinking. That one. Sometimes you just keep trying, and when you know, you know. Good there too, but I think we can do better. I think I like that attached to that little book there. But I think this was probably the best. So you mentioned Amity Bloom. Yes, I like to watch Amity Bloom. Amity Bloom has courses, I believe. So I think maybe that's why she doesn't give it all away. In her videos, she likes to save some of it for her courses that she encourages people to sign up for. That could be why she doesn't give all the instructions on how to connect the pages. She certainly has a lot of eye candy though, beautiful visuals. I love Amity Bloom's style. I just need more sepia tones. Like she has a lot of bright colors, but I need some of this. But I do love her style. Who is this? Meredith at Shamir? Shamir? I don't know. Meredith? Who's that? I'm not sure who that is. Did a great job with her how to create one. Oh, okay. So you're just missing some of the instruction. Okay, I get it. Well, I hope anytime I've done that, if I've sped through something and you need clarification, please ask. I'm happy to come back and I'm happy to come back and clarify, always. Well, thank you for your kind words, Cheryl. I really appreciate that. And you can write me a novel whenever you like. Patricia, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Concelia Whitney. Oh, she saw Cindy's video. And now mine, and now she wants to do one. Good. Cindy always inspires me. She really does. So I hope you do try it. Pam. Hello, Pam. PJ Sutton. I'm going to have to try this too. She said, I've got to retire soon. Yes, you do. Girl, you get yourself retired because you're going to love it. Thank you for mentioning us. Of course. Oh, she had a good, oh, it was Pam that had that idea. She said for our hinges, we could use a circle punch, or I'm sorry, a corner rounder punch to create an oval hinge. That is brilliant. Thank you for that. Great tip. See, this is why I love reading comments, because we can share with everybody. Lisa, a bit of crafting. She really loves this cover. Isn't it great, Lisa? It's just beautiful. I love the gold. I really wanted to keep that spine, so I'm really happy we were able to do this hinge from the inside and not have to sew through or anything. So this is definitely no sewing. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Love those fluffy journals. I'm liking that system a lot. Yeah, this is kind of neat, right? Like it's got this like this drops right through. Woo! It's floats away from the spine. So that's why we've got that fabric back there. But yeah, it lays down so nicely no matter where you are. So as a writing journal, which we're going to add some more, but there's lots of spaces to write, and then there's lined pages in here too. Back this way, I guess. And then the music sheets for writing. But we're going to add some more. There's some writing space there. There's a few lined pages like this in here. Like that. But yeah, look at how nice and flat that lays. Perfect. That's one of the benefits of this type of journal. Oh, and thanks for supporting, Carrie. Yeah, so nice. I do hope you try making one. Patricia Taylor, hi. Always good to see you pop up in the comments. Happy to share the process, Patricia. Thanks for being here. And there is Sharon Petty. Hello, Sharon. Sharon's never seen a Hinge journal before. I'm shocked because you are a craft maniac there. You do everything. Oh. Oh, okay. So here's the scrapbooking comment. So that was one of my questions. So Sharon Petty was into scrapbooking, creative memories, of course, a while back, but junk journaling is a lot like scrapbooking, she says. She found junk journaling after she got into mixed media and art journaling. As you know, I'm a craftaholic. See, I told you she was a craftaholic. Craft maniac. Actually, she's I'm surprised you've never seen a Hinge journal before, Sharon. Really? But she's going to make one. I know you will. But she has a bunch of altered books to finish first. Sharon's always busy. Debbie Walker, love it. Some additional ideas maybe when gluing your pages together. Oh yes, Debbie had a great idea. When I was gluing my pages together and folding them, she thought she had a suggestion that maybe we could do some slit pockets first before we glued them shut. Also, or gluing, like even though we're going to glue the shut, maybe gluing like this. So we had a pocket like we do in the altered books, and then when we glue that down like that, and then just glue this part into the hinge. Sorry, I'm upside down. Into the hinge like that, and then having a tuck pocket. Those are really good ideas. Thank you for sharing that, Debbie. Fabulous. And you posted that twice, so I'm not sure what happened there. I do that all the time. I'm always, yeah, left to right with pockets, slit pockets. Yeah, great. Fabulous. Thank you for sharing that, Debbie. Great tips for everyone when you're doing this. And I will, when I do this again someday, I will certainly take your suggestions there and do that and make pockets. Crafty one is Roxanne. She feels like she's in a therapy chair. Correction, craft therapy chair. Craft therapy chair. That's awesome. You brighten up my day, and I'm sure other viewers do too. Do any of the females in your family do paper crafting as well? Well, good question. I have a sister who is an artist. She's a painter, and she does painting classes. She has people come to her art studio and they learn painting techniques from her. During COVID, she did some online classes. I don't know if they were lives or how she did that exactly, but she pivoted and, you know, she went online. And now I'm trying to encourage her to go back online and do do some more instruction through video that way. I think she should do some YouTube videos, and I think people would love to learn her techniques, and she's a very talented artist. She also does mixed media, and she does journaling of some sorts. Not a full junk journal like this, but she does do some exchange programs with from time to time. She does like 12 days of Christmas thing, or oh, I might not have the titles right, but she does things. So her name is Michelle Snively Jeffries. I'll link her below if you want to check out her. I just did the other day a reel. I did a video walking through her studio. Always get inspired. She had a huge studio. It's great. But she does commissions. She opens up commissions once in a while and does large paintings. She's known for doing birch trees, where each birch tree in the painting represents a member of your family. So there's dad, mom, brother, sister. Very, very beautiful. It's one of her specialties. She does a lot of her artwork is faith-based. And yeah, she's got some great classes, and I like people go to her house to learn, or her studio, I should say. She's a beautiful, beautiful space, big windows, really, really quite nice. So yeah, she does classes. I think she's back to doing them weekly almost. And she has people that come on a regular basis, bring their own paints, or she supplies the canvases and the paints and stuff. But yes, she does do a little bit of mixed media and whatnot. But we're different in that she doesn't use printables or make like a full journal like this per se, but she will do like an art journal kind of thing from an existing book, I guess. Midori. Hi, Midori. I love this series. You chose a beautiful color and your papers are beautiful. I only did one Hinge journal before. It was a beach theme and it was a lot of fun to make. It lays beautifully flat and is great for writing. Yes, Midori, I agree. You had way too much fun decorating it. Too much lace and ribbons. Too many pockets. Don't get me wrong. It turned out gorgeous, but it does. Oh, she's got a gator mouth. That's okay. Sometimes I have lots of gator mouth. Oh, who cares? Who cares, right? If that bothers some people, but I think that's wonderful. Roxanne liked that too. Yeah, your beach themed Hinge journal sounds amazing. And Tor Baker, Tori, short for Tori. What could I not think of that? Love this. I've done an accordion spine, but I don't really have the dexterity. Yes, an accordion spine. So that's cool. But thanks for that thought, Tori. We'll add that to the list of ideas of things to make. Margot. Hi, Margot. Yes, you must make it. I think you should, Margot. Thank you. You're so sweet. You're so sweet, Margot. Thank you. I'm always happy to read your comments. Christy, looking great. Can't wait to make one. Well, thank you, Christy. I hope you do make one. Yeah, I've never tried this before, so I told everyone in the first video, I've never made this before, so let's see how it goes. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I tried. We're learning together. Hi, Kimberly. Oh, yeah, we were chatting the other day. Kimberly started out her Saturday with a little tutorial. A little crafty fun. Yeah, always good to see you guys. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Okay, so I think we'll do one more video. What do you think I should do here? I think you can let me know in the comments. Should I cover this bump with some lace across here and here? A tuck pocket like that to cover that up. I could do that. Or we could do some lace. Or I could just simply... I don't want to cover this up. I think this is really pretty. So I think, yeah, you guys let me know. Lace or lace across the seam, or should I do... Well, I'm going to tear some more pages to do some more layering. Thank you for hanging out with me today. We'll do one more video. Why not? We'll do a flip through and I'll add some of the, like I said, the lace and the final embellishments. So that'll just be like a craft and chat. I hope you enjoyed making a Hinge journal. And thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your comments. I truly love reading them and chatting with you. And I really do appreciate you hanging out with me here in my craft room. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.